What is going on, guys? Predator458 here, and welcome back to my channel. And today we have a post-commentary video of the mighty German battleship, the Tirpitz. Now, I do apologize for this video not going up yesterday. There seemed to be an upload error or something. I think maybe my internet connection dropped out while I was trying to upload. And because of this, I thought I'd kind of just redo it and redo the commentary and that sort of thing, and then put it out for you guys tomorrow on being Tuesday. Wednesday there will most likely be another Yamato video, and I also just quickly like to say a very big thank you to everyone who has recently submitted their replays to feature on my channel. Had about 3 in 2 days, which is quite nice. So maybe 1 or 2 of those will pop up later this week. I'll just see when I use them. But this video, not so much about the gameplay. This was recorded just after I'd bought the Yamato, but before my first game. It was basically just to earn a little bit of money, so that if things went horribly wrong in the Yamato, I wasn't going to be bankrupt. But as I said, this video is not too much about the gameplay. We'll talk about it here and there, but it's just generally a sale and, you know, chat and that kind of thing. The big news for me is Armored Warfare has officially gone into open beta now, a little bit late on this news. Early access, or people who had purchased the Founders Packs, were able to get a head start and start playing the open beta from the 1st of October, while everyone else had to wait until the 8th of October. And coming up in a few moments, and there you can see on the minimap, destroyer at 7 kilometers. This was a really scary little moment. Thankfully he did get a bit close. We were able to spot him in time, and I was able to begin a very hard turn to starboard, slowing down, and there we can see his torpedoes. They're going to miss, but unfortunately we're not going to quite manage to miss our Amagi. We're going to make a little bit of contact here, and I apologize to him, but I mean, there wasn't really anything else I could do, and he understood that. But anyways, back to Armored Warfare. Yeah, so I did have access to it from the 1st of October. I forgot about it a little bit, and then I started the download a few days before the official start for everyone. About a 20 gig download, and I was like, shouldn't be too bad. So I left my computer on for the first night, and it downloaded half of it, 10 gigs. So I was like, brilliant, be able to play it soon. I left it on again the next night, and it only did 20%. So I was like, alright, maybe maybe tomorrow night. And then it did 5% the next night. It was like, as soon as I went to bed, the download speed just completely died. But anyways, I did manage to get it all downloaded, and I think I did start playing it on the 8th with everyone else, so my head start was completely useless thanks to my internet. But I've been rather enjoying the game, and if you haven't checked it out, I highly recommend you do. But I also kind of want to know if you guys are interested in me putting this kind of content on my channel, because I would like to start to cover it. I have done a few videos. I did a few videos during one of the early access tests. Unfortunately, I kind of stopped doing those because every time an early access test ended, when the next one started, there was a massive patch, and poor little internet couldn't quite keep up with it. So that's why I stopped then. But now that we're in open beta, there shouldn't be too many more massive patches, and I should be able to start playing it more regularly, and I've rather been enjoying it, which is a little bit strange because it's been a long time since I enjoyed World of Tanks. I don't know if it's just a kind of a new game smell, if you will, but I do kind of like the fact that it's modern tanks. You know, I mean, in World of Tanks, your tier 10, and tier 8, 9, and 10, let's just say, some of those vehicles that would be your very high-end, high-tier vehicles in World of Tanks are now your like entry-level stuff, T-54s and Walker Bulldogs and those sort of things are tiers 1 and 2. We get 5 hits for 5,600 damage, which was unfortunate. I was hoping for a Citadel, but those were my first hits of the match, and that Amagi is then very quickly taken out by spread of friendly torpedoes. But I have been enjoying it. It still does get a little bit frustrating. For me personally, I don't quite like the fact that, you know, just like World of Tanks, sometimes enemy vehicles are not rendered at all because the program hasn't detected or determined that you've detected them, and that's a little bit unfortunate. That's one of the things that kind of I didn't like about World of Tanks, and I prefer War Thunder's system in that where everyone is always spotted and you actually have to see them with your actual eyes, and those shots were a little bit high. They were pretty good Citadel location, but a little bit too high, didn't quite hit the waterline. But we're desperately trying to take this New Orleans out because obviously between us and him there is a friendly Mahan, and we don't want to lose our destroyer. We want to try and save him. But I mean, regardless of the spotting system, I've still enjoyed it. I am not particularly good at it, I don't think. But I would like to start putting regular content on my channel from Armored Warfare and try and get up to the higher tier stuff. And we managed to finish him off and get our first kill of the match. Primarily, I imagine it would be main battle tanks, just like in World of Warships, where I tend to prefer battleships over everything else. I just tend to prefer something that actually can take a little bit of a beating before it dies, which is why I don't quite like the armored fighting vehicles or the light tanks or anything like that, because if you are spotted, you can die very quickly. But yeah, so that's primarily what I'm focusing on. I have actually unlocked the first wheeled tank destroyer at tier 3, is it, I think? And I rather enjoy that too, unfortunately. And we get 4 hits to finish the enemy cruiser off, and that is our second kill. Unfortunately, I'm running into a slight issue again with my internet and the higher pings and packet loss and that sort of thing. The faster vehicles, like these wheeled tank destroyers, can sometimes be problematic if I get a lag spike at the wrong time. And the wrong time being any time I'm moving at high speed, which is interesting. And we take some shots at the Amagi who's running along the border, and we should have fired everything at the first location. I staggered the shots just in case he maneuvered, but he didn't. So the first turret that we fired managed to hit its mark, but the rest were too far in front of him, which was unfortunate. But he is in a pretty bad spot. He's got a friendly Tirpitz at very close range, who's no doubt going to be trying to get torpedoes off. Got destroyers in the area, got me. So this Amagi is going to have to put up a pretty big fight and just try and do as much damage as possible before he is removed from the match. And only 1 hit there, unfortunately. So yeah, basically, I mean, just let me know if how many of you guys would like to see Armored Warfare content. And I think that game has a lot of potential. I think it is in a lot of ways better than World of Tanks, not just because it's, you know, something different in terms of having modern military vehicles, but I think they've just done other things better, like, I mean, the artillery. And everyone who's played World of Tanks knows how annoying artillery can be, and it's just not quite as painful in Armored Warfare. You get a notification when the enemy artillery is shooting at you, and counter artillery is a real thing in this game. And this was a very interesting move by the Amagi. He could have killed that Pensacola, I think, with his guns and not killed himself with a ram, but that's what he decided to do, and he took them both out the match. And things are looking okay for our team. They were looking a lot better a few moments ago, but we're equal on numbers now. We have 3 battleships and a cruiser versus 2 battleships, a cruiser and a destroyer. And that destroyer is going to be a little bit interesting soon. I'm going to fire some blind torpedoes there. I think I had noticed that the enemy destroyer was somewhere around this area, and I was just firing some blind torpedoes in case he decided to try and come around the island behind me. And of course the Cleveland sets me on fire with his very first salvo, but again we're just going to let it burn and try and close distance a little bit before we open fire to hopefully give him as little time as possible to maneuver. But unfortunately, as we fire, he had just started maneuvering, which I didn't notice at at the time. But now we're in a fairly interesting position. We've got a Cleveland in front of us and a Tirpitz, or rather Cleveland in front of us to our right and the Tirpitz directly in front of us. And we're nearly ready to fire at the Cleveland again. We're still burning, but as soon as the fire's out, we will heal up a little bit. And again, he maneuvers just as we're about to fire. Get 2 hits for 2,000, and here's that destroyer that I mentioned that was going to be so interesting, and he set us on fire again. So I've still got another 40 seconds to wait until the fire goes out. But we can't repair now because we may take a torpedo. The Sims was at very close range. We began turning into him and slowing down as soon as we saw him. But yeah, very, very close range. We fire a full salvo, we get 6 hits, but we're not entirely sure how much damage we did. And here come his torpedoes. Looks like we're going to take 2 of them, and indeed we do. And here comes some more, and I think this spread we are able to miss. But now we are going to repair, there we go, and we're going to heal up. And this Cleveland has gotten incredibly close, so we're going to fire a spread of torpedoes way in front of the lead indicator, because he is turning and he's straightening out in that direction. And our little gamble pays off, and he eats 2 of them. And even if he had been on more health than he was, he would have eaten a 3rd. And here we have the Sims again, who stopped. I don't know if maybe we took out his engine, if that was in one of the incapacitations. I think he's just healed it up there, because when he first popped into view, you could see the like smoke coming out of his engine stacks, which was not normal engine smoke. And we're going to turn a little bit to our right side here to just go around the wreck, because they can, you know, be a collidable object. We're going to start putting fire in on this enemy Tirpitz. But as you can see, he has twice the amount of health that we do, so things are not looking terribly good. But thankfully, we are going to have some teammates arrive to support us. Either way, this match is going to be a victory, I think. I think you guys can already see that. It's 3 versus 1. We're capturing B. We have a significant points advantage. And we're just loading up armor piercing. I think I may have switched to high explosive for that destroyer. And there we go. We got some incoming fire from our teammates. We're going to fire off our rear guns while we try and turn our front guns. And we get 4 hits for 13,500 damage, which is quite nice. And we're just turning our guns to the port side, and once the front guns are turned around, we'll start to expose our broadside a little bit more to try and get all 4 guns on target. But for the time being, we're just going to fire at him with our rear guns. And as you can see, I mean, things have already turned a little bit. He's now down to 31,400 health, and we get 3 hits for 1,000. Unfortunately, they all bounced. But now we've got our front guns on target, and we don't have to worry too much about taking return damage at this precise moment, because he's not pointing at us. And we fire the front guns off. 3 hits for 1,100 again, so more non-penetrations and bounces. But we now have more health than him. How things have turned around. Thank you very much to, I believe it's the Tirpitz and possibly our Amagi that's helping. We get 3 hits at the very back for 11,000 damage. And now this guy is in serious trouble. We've got our front guns ready to go. We're now turning around to go on the offensive. Another 3 hits for 6,000 damage. But I mean, this turned out quite well with the support of my teammates. We will manage to survive this and hopefully even get another kill. 4 hits, all bounces that time. But I mean, you could see there for yourself, it was a very heavy angle on his armor belt and getting a bit of lag, but now he's exposing his broadside again. He's down to 1,900 health. We fire off the front guns, we take 3,000 damage, but we land 2 hits to the 1,900 and secure our 5th kill of the match, I believe. Let's have a look. There we go. Yep, 5 kills. So not a bad match, and I think this was probably the last game I played just to secure some extra funds for the Yamato, and that 490,000 silver certainly came in handy. But yeah, as you can see, we got 55 target hits, 2 torpedo hits, 4 incapacitations, 5 kills, as I said, caused 2 fires and caused flooding twice for 490,000 silver, 4,700 research. We came first place for the team by just under 300 points. Sims first on the enemy team. We did 69,500 AP damage, 1,900 from fires, 10.5 from torpedoes, and 7,900 from our secondaries, and still made 411,000 profit, which, as I said, was very, very helpful. Because those tier 10s, damn, those things be expensive. But anyways, that is it for this video. If you enjoyed, please feel free to hit the thumbs up and consider subscribing for more World of Warships content, as well as Armored Warfare, hopefully, in the very near future. Also, be sure to check the description down below for links to my Facebook and my Twitter pages, and you guys can follow me there as well, especially if you need to keep tabs on whether a video has been delayed or not, as was the case with this video. But as I said, that is it from me. Thank you very much for stopping by. This is Predator 458 signing off, and I will see you guys next time.